Visit us for updates and shows at affinityxtra.co.uk.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily represent the views of Affinity Xtra.
Yeah, guys, it's Roger Moore here on Affinity Xtra, celebrating gospel music of Black origin, and we're just gonna do an intro special for a show which is gonna change things up. Now, you know me already. I say my opinions about right-wing communism and all that business and politics and whatever, but the key thing is that a young man has come up to me and spoke to me about, and he wants to do a podcast about, is something to do like the looking at things from an ideological perspective. Now, before we're gonna get into these episodes out there, you know what I mean, one of the key things is, listen, bro, who are you and what's your background into talking about what we want to be going into? Because people are gonna go, who's this guy here? Is he part of the Green Party? You know what I mean? Infiltrating the Christian realm? Is he a Marxist coming in here causing trouble? You know what I'm saying? You know, what's your background, foundation, what you're coming from, and how do you see that fitting? And I know you're a passionate guy about the gospel. How does that fit in with the gospel as well? So kick us on there.
Well, I won't give away my political beliefs. That's not what Ideologies is about. G-E-E-S, you will, but I would. I think one thing that I've realized as somebody who has studied politics both in sixth form and university is that the very big factor.
So you studied it?
I studied politics. I studied politics and TV production at Kingston University in London.
So what course, to give me an idea, was it like, is it called politics or was it called something different?
No, it was a combined course.
The combined course?
Because it was both my interests. I initially wanted to do journalism, but I didn't get enough UCAS points for that.
You wanted to be a politician.
I wanted to be a journalist, but I didn't have enough UCAS points. But then I got into video and I fell in love with it anyway. So basically in uni, I wanted to do journalism with politics. The lady on the UCAS on the other line said, look, you don't have enough UCAS points. But I see that in college you did media and politics. So why don't you do politics and TV production for university? And I thought those are my two passions, career, politics and TV. And so that's why I'm sitting here today. And one thing I've realized is as far as Western democracies is concerned, the biggest factor that undergird the issues that we face today is the ideological beliefs held by various politicians. So this is the reason why this is the vision behind Ideologies. By the way, it's G-E-E-S because it's all about Ideologies by MisterMarkGee.
All right. So do you think that the church in our Christian spectrum get involved in politics as we should do?
I think before we even get involved, we need to understand.
But do we understand? Because we all vote.
Yeah.
So you're saying that basically we need to understand. That means we as Christians are not engaging correctly into political affairs because we don't understand.
I don't think just Christians, just people in general. I don't think people have a comprehensive understanding of what the word conservatism means or what left-wing means and right-wing means. And so I want to serve this as a fun educational tool into the world of ideology and political philosophy.
Being an antagonist as I am,
you're a very nice guy.
Is it? Doesn't the New World Order don't want us to get this knowledge? Are we in trouble?
We need to know this knowledge. No, we need to this. No,
but the powers that be need us just to vote people because they look the part.
Yes,
and not understand what they're saying.
The danger to the powers that be is well-informed citizenry, and so when you read the news. Yes, there could be truth, but are you also being able to see the propaganda behind it?
Okay.
Why is it, for example, that a right-wing paper will highlight one thing as a headline and a left-wing leading paper will have a completely different one? Or they might have the same story but different perspective. Nice. Because of the ideological undercurrent, we get half-truths from different sources. And for us, Christianity the truth is the most important thing. Even Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And so it is important for us to be discerning and to understand these political ideologies from a Christian perspective, so that we can be able to rightly engage not only as Christians but well-informed citizens. And also, I ain't gonna lie, I like ideology, I like philosophy, I'm a politics nerd, and for me to be in a situation where I can talk and have fun about it, hey, I'm loving it, and I hope you love it too.
Where were you when I was when the politics were kicking off with Black Lives Matter? But anyway, so that's you came after then. Don't worry, people know when to show it. Everyone hide when that was around.
But I think maybe that's something worth to discuss in retrospect.
Yeah.
What's our view on Black Lives Matter? You know, was it a hoax or is it the real thing? You know, I mean, let's not get started.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a left and a right, and I think that
and there's a center,
and there's a center. You know what I mean?
And there's a center left and a center right.
This is it.
So it's a spectrum.
Yeah, crazy. So we might have to create some cool graphics around that aspect. You know what I'm saying? So 100%. So guys, listen. This is Roger Moore, one of the presenters here on
the CEO of Affinity Xtra. Come on,
you know what I mean. So myself and definitely DJ Nerdlocks are out here doing this thing. But we've got an amazing team, amazing crew, and we really want to be able to not just put out musical content, but also want to put out quality content about different aspects which affect our everyday life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because one thing I give credit to Affinity Xtra, and which is why I'm so privileged to be part of this show, is that even in as much as Christians, we should not just talk about Christian things, but rather see how our basically faith and life merging together. You know, people find it weird that you talk about all these issues, but yes, we are saints, but we are saints in the world. So we need to be wise as serpents. So what the Lord Jesus said, we have to be innocent as doves, yes, but we have to be wise as serpents. We need to be discerning. We need to be knowledgeable. We need to be people of understanding. And also, we're not called out to be set apart in the sense that we're called to engage people. We're called to actually be in the mix. But in the mix so that we can be the light. But we also need to understand what we are shining to, who we, understanding people, And another thing is, one thing that I've learned over time is that even despite my deeply held political beliefs, I used to think people who disagree with me are weird, and I don't like one thing the necessity of this is, but especially in the United States, but certainly also in the UK and Western Europe, people are really friendships are splitting up, marriages are splitting up, society is splitting up across ideological lines. And I am of the view that as Christians, no matter, we should see people as human beings, and even though we disagree with them, try to understand why they're coming from. Why is Jeremy Corbyn a socialist? Not to say what is right and wrong, but what are the circumstances? What were the things that happened to him that led to his beliefs? What about Rishi Sunak? Yeah. Two different individuals, two different stories, with two different ways of looking at life, and that informs how they do their politics.
Do the business,
and so it's not about shunning, it's not about hating, it's about understanding. And the world, we need to understand each other. We need to talk to each other. We need to reach people across the other divide.
100%.
But in order to, we need to get away from the caricatures of certain people of different ideologies, because when you start to speak to people and see them as a human being, though they disagree with you, even though you don't disagree, you understand. And there might be people who you might disagree with. There might be some people you disagree with who are actually more likable than you think. That's one thing I've learned.
Well, we definitely. I think it's purposely hit this out because we have got the American elections coming up as well. So,
we're going to react.
Yeah, we're going to react to that still. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of political things going out there. I did do. Well, we're gonna get into this, guys. Anyway, so yeah. But listen, guys, keep an eye on our platform. Definitely check out the YouTube channel. We're going to be putting it out on there. Also going to put it on the radio, so you're going to hear this on audio dubs out there. Audio dubs, man. I can't even say audio dubs, but on the radio as podcast. podcast itself. And as I says, we are here from Affinity Xtra, not only talking about or celebrating gospel music of black origin, but also we are going to be talking things that I'm not comfortable with. We're going to have conversation because decent. We don't necessarily agree here still. You know what I'm saying? We agree with that. We don't always agree. But I think that's fantastic because we're going to understand is that we can be in the same space and to love each other. And I think there's a lot of ideologies that even cross into theology, which we've seen. We both witness the big divide between Calvinism and Armenian, you know what I'm saying? And there was a massive divide, and people didn't talk to each other over that foolishness. So not foolishness. It's a great debate, but I felt like people were like, oh, you know me, I want nothing to do with you, but then work with everybody. You're like, bro, we're Christians here.
But I'm glad that as Christian hip hop scene, people have kind of got over that.
No, but it was a thing. It was a thing, and it was a thing that actually affected a lot of things, even going into the biggest labels. And it affected the Reach Records, the Cross Movements labels, where it all moved like that.
And think about it, and I want to put it on, I want to put it to the streets and really talk about why this is important to your neighborhood and where you are next door. When you pass across somebody and they're wearing a hijab or they're wearing, or you can see visibly they're Muslim. If we just watch propaganda by the news, we can create caricatures of these individuals to the point that we might even have disdain or due to misunderstanding or false narratives, which is why it is very important that we dissect to understand. And but Barack Obama said we actually might have more in common, all of us together, than we actually think.
100%.
So
100%.
This is. I think because the world is becoming divided, it is time to understand one another. It's time to just sit with people we disagree with, really dissect even the ideologies that I personally don't agree with, but try and just understand where people are coming from. This is what it's all about.
That's cool, man. But listen, guys, this is Roger over and out. Yo, we're here on Affinity Xtra, celebrating gospel music of black origin. Check us out on all social platforms and www.affinityxtra.com. Ideologies. Blessings.
Thank you for watching the content we're putting out. Listen, make sure that you are liking, subscribing and following us on all our social channels, including patreon.com. Make sure you're finding us on there to support what we do so we can support you. And remember, guys, be extra.